they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. We keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all. All right, so you're notified each time Queen Guidance goes live. Now let's see who's in here. Okay, Nessa G, Dangerous, Emperor Rex, D Major. All right, let's get into it. 57 Beige Fox, Danielle, Claudette, Pretty Wings, Annette. All right, Hadassah is here. All right, Chili Willie from Philly. Let's get into it. Desmond. Cookie is in the virtual building. Andrea, Danny Joe, LL is here. All right. With that all being said, everyone hit that like button. Okay, Nessa G, did I say you? We the people, Sheila. Okay, let's get this party started. Everybody hit that like button, double check to make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay, so with that all being said, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get this party started. Okay, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so I see a few more people entered the chat. Pookie is here. All right, Nubia Ra. Okay, let's get this party started. Dark Tube, FBA Insight Channel. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal worlds and everyone tuning into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. Now, that being said, before we get started with today's receipts, hey, Deronda, before we get started, I want to address this morning's broadcast. By the way, if you missed this morning's broadcast, check it out at your leisure. Okay, but I want to address the fact that this morning when I was talking, there was someone in the chat. I believe their name was Pink Flowers or Loud. I don't know if they're in here now. I haven't seen them. But anyway, here's what I want to say. Because they put a comment in as the broadcast was closing out. And so I didn't get a chance to respond. And I really hate when people do that. People try to throw in little slick comments. I'm not saying that's what they did, but I do notice because you all know that I go back and read the chat. Okay, yes, I do. Now, and I also look over the comments sometimes. And though I may not respond to the comments, doesn't mean I didn't look. But here's the thing. So they left a comment towards the end, and they basically said something about people can have their own opinion without being in their emotions. Because I said that they were in their emotions, and that when people, like certain things that people do or say, it's obvious that they're emotionally immature. Okay, so basically they were saying that they were giving their opinion, but they weren't in their emotions. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, you were. You were in your emotions. Absolutely, you were. It's obvious. Listen, after I explained everything, because this is not really even about opinions, it's about facts. Okay, that whole Cardi B, Tasha K situation, I don't want to keep dwelling on it, but what I want to say is this. When you have someone who is sued and they have proven their case, and they won the case, then the person that lost is supposed to pay. There's supposed to be consequences. Now, the sad thing about many Black people that really is annoying for people like me, I'm going to tell you what it is that a lot of Black people are emotionally immature. You see, we're in the habit, many of us, of wearing our emotions on our sleeve. I used to do it too. But with that all being said, right, Sheila said, yes, she was. It was a back and forth. Yes. And the only reason it was a back and forth is because she was in her feelings. Now, I wasn't in my feelings because, like I told y'all, here's the thing. Let me just say this again. I like Tasha K. I support Tasha K. Me and my best friend, I bought both of us tickets to go see Tasha K. at her comedy thing that she did here in Atlanta when she first performed. Okay, I'm a member on her channel. The bottom line is just because I like you does not mean that I'm not going to hold you accountable. Does not mean that I'm going to defend you when you're wrong. I'm not. I'm going to call you out when you're wrong, just like I would do anybody else. It doesn't matter if I like you or not. If my own best friend, whom I love, does or says something that I disagree with, or does something that someone else disagrees with, and they ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to defend you when you're wrong. And sometimes people have a problem with that. Okay, I have a friend who has a problem with that because when they'll come and vent to me about other people, and if I don't agree with them, and if I say, well, I can understand their point of view, then they're like, well, how come you can't just support me? I am supporting you by listening, but because I'm supporting you does not mean that I have to agree with everything you say, even when I think you're wrong. I don't have to do it, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not a yes man or yes woman. Okay, I'm going to tell you just what it is. So whether I like you or not does not have any bearing on logic, facts, and proof. It just doesn't, not for me. And it shouldn't for anyone else. You see, here's the thing. It's very hypocritical to me that some Black people don't want to hold other Black people accountable. But you want to hold white people accountable, don't you? You want to hold Latino people accountable, don't you? But you don't want to hold Black people accountable? How ignorant is that? How ignorant is that? Yes, I'm pro-Black all day, every day, and twice on Sundays. But the bottom line is I'm not going to condone people's BS. I'm not going to condone you when I know you're wrong. I'm not. And so I will call you out and I will say it to your face. And that's just what it is. And if anyone feels a way about that, well, too bad. And so sad. Because that just shows that you can't do the same. If you want to get upset with me or anyone else because we disagree with you, because we're not going to just say that the person you like is right just because you like them and you want to get mad, well, you're emotionally unintelligent. You're emotionally immature, period. And that's just what that is. Okay, now you can agree to disagree. And like I tell you all, I welcome disagreements on this channel. You just have to do so respectfully. You don't have to agree with anything I say, everything I say, or even anything I say. Okay? You don't have to do it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion and to feel however they feel. But don't get mad at me because my commentary is not in alignment with your thoughts, with your point of view. Because when I give my opinion, I tell you it's my opinion. I'll say that this is just how I feel or what I think. You don't have to agree. Or I'll say I can't substantiate this because I'm letting you know these are not facts. This is just how I feel about it. But when it's facts, it's the facts. And facts are not to be disputed when there's proof to back them up. Now, if you still want to make up scenarios, okay, just go right ahead. But that just makes you look bad. You're not making me look bad. You're not hurting my feelings. You're not even making me mad because I welcome challenges, but I will have a conversation with you. And if you want to go back and forth, we can do that too. But it would be easier for you to go back and forth if you click the link so you don't have to keep typing in the chat. Because I can talk pretty fast. So by the time you try to catch up to what I'm saying by typing, you'll be behind. So I'm just saying it would behoove anyone who has a problem with the queen and whatever I'm saying to just ask me to drop the link, because I will. I have no problem dropping links. Okay? That's what I don't have a problem doing ever. Now, with that all being said, I just wanted to clear that up because when people put little comments in there when they know that the broadcast is closing out, so you think I'm not going to say anything because I'm not going to get a chance because it's closing? Don't forget, I come live every day. So as soon as I get back on live, if I saw it, I'm going to address it. That's how that works. Some of y'all think you're slick and you're getting over, oh, let me just say this real quick. She can't say nothing because the broadcast is ending. Well, I'm coming back, right? Did you think I was going to forget? Or you think I'm not going to look at the chat later? Yeah, I always do. Okay, specifically for things like this. Okay, now, D Major Scaling says, being pro-black don't mean pro-foolishness. Exactly, beloved. Exactly. So thank you for your insight and thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so it is what it is. Like I said, I like Tasha K. Tasha K is a Pisces. I feel like me and her have some of the same qualities, but at the same time, we have very different qualities. When you look at the Pisces symbol, there's two fish. One's going upstream and one's going downstream. Okay? And it's okay to be petty because I'm petty, but I'm ha petty. I'm not nefarious petty like some people who try to hurt people, who do things to purposely try to bring people down. That's not me. Okay, that's not me. And at the end of the day, like I said, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Now let's continue because I don't want to waste too much time on this. Okay, so first off, let's talk about Chud the Builder. Because word on the streets, and yes, I said streets, is that he shot someone in front of the courthouse and then also shot himself. Now, you all do remember that days ago he was arrested because he was in somebody's restaurant bothering Black folk, acting a whole fool, because that's what he is, trying to get attention. And he was in the restaurant and ordered up $371 worth of food and didn't pay for it. And so he was consequently arrested. Now, I don't know what he ordered or what kind of restaurant this was, but $371 for one person sounds pretty high price to me, but I'm not surprised that he didn't pay it, okay? But anyway, he got arrested for that. But so now let's talk about what happened today with this self-inflicted shooting. That's how much of an idiot he is. Pulls his gun out and shoots himself. Okay. Yeah, but he wants to walk around like he's really bad arts and then talks all this trash to Black folk. And when they don't say anything, he says they chimped out, like they're scared of him. But then if they do say something, he wants to pull out a gun. So who's really scared? Who's really scared here? Okay. So let's talk about it because here's the report. And this is the updated report. Man who instigated racist disputes involved in shooting outside county courthouse. Okay, so they say two people were hurt in a shooting next to the Montgomery courthouse in Clarksville in a confrontation involving Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder. So they say Etherly, this was updated at 3:25 p.m. So they say Etherly was supposed to make an appearance in General Sessions, okay, today as the defendant in a civil case being sued by Midland Credit Management, Inc. Okay, sounds like he didn't pay his bills. Yeah, but he wants to talk about black folk. Let's continue. Now he has a separate outstanding criminal case on a charge of harassment, according to court records obtained by Clarksville Now. So then the incident began with a confrontation in Millennium Plaza between Dalton Etherly, aka Chud the Builder, and another man, and this is all according to District Attorney General Robert Nash. So one unnamed witness said the man punched Etherly, and another said 3 to 4 shots were fired. So Nash told Clarksville Now that Etherly was the one who opened fire, and Etherly appears to have shot himself in the arm in the process. Etherly was taken into custody and removed from the scene by ambulance. The victim was going to be flown by life flight to a Nashville hospital. His condition has not been released. It sounds like his condition is pretty bad if he had to be life flighted. That's not good. Okay, prayers for whoever that is. I hope they make a speedy recovery. Because this devil, I'm sure he started it. Okay, as usual. Now, the DA's office said in a statement Wednesday afternoon that it is reviewing the facts of the investigation by law enforcement to determine formal criminal charges. Etherly has made a name for himself locally, trying to get social media attention by taking video of himself using racial slurs against Black people, challenging them to fight back. See, let me tell you something about a person like him. He's a provocateur, and what he does is he's walking around saying all this stuff, trying to tick Black people off, trying to provoke them to anger so they can try to come at him, and then he's going to shoot them. This is what he's been waiting on. What he did today is what he's been waiting for the whole time that he's been out there in the streets harassing people. And then when he sees that they're not going to fall for his BS and then says, oh, they're chipping out, he says that to further try to anger them so that they'll turn around and come back and say something, and so he can shoot him. Okay, that's what that is. It's just a trap. Okay, but as karma would have it, the idiot shot himself as well. Okay, too bad it was just in his arm. Now, with that all being said, goes on to say in November 2025, Etherly claimed during at least one such confrontation that he was with the Clarksville Police Department. CPD responded November the 13th with a statement on Facebook saying, "We want to make it clear that this type of behavior is not condoned and the individual seen in the video is not affiliated with the Clarksville Police Department in any capacity. We take this matter seriously and are looking into it further. The department will be seeking legal advice to determine what type of action, if any, can be taken. We also recognize and support the rights afforded to all citizens under the United States Constitution, including the First Amendment right to free speech." So Etherly was arrested on November the 18th of 2025 on a charge of harassment. That case was bound over to the grand jury on April the 8th. Now, Clarksville, Tennessee, okay, they say the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and Clarksville Police Department responded to shots fired outside of the Montgomery County Courthouse. The shooting reportedly took place at around 1:15 p.m. The scene has been secured and there is no danger to the public. Okay, and this is according to an MSCO spokesperson, Lieutenant Bishop Delaney. The courthouse was locked down when the shooting took place. Both law enforcement agencies were at the scene of the shooting, where one person was taken into custody, according to the people at the scene. And witnesses told Clarksville Now that it appeared 2 people were injured. Okay, so like I said, I'm not surprised. This fool is going to end up in jail or dead. He's going to run up on the wrong person, or shall I say the right person, maybe. Okay, however you want to look at it. But if he keeps playing these silly games, something really bad is going to happen to him. Okay? Something really bad is going to happen. And especially with him pulling out guns, just like that Black guy, he showed that Black guy like a few weeks ago, he showed the guy his gun and the guy showed him his, like he has one too. So now what? You know what I'm saying? And then he chimped out. That's what he did. So anyway, I just find it all interesting. I think he's just a whole clown, in my opinion. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about Fox News. Because why in the world do they think that former first, this is a whole lot for me. Okay, like why in the hell does anyone on Fox Racist News think that Michelle Obama needs to defend Melania Trump? What? First of all, here's the thing. If that's how they feel, why didn't they have that same energy when Trump posted that picture of the Obamas with monkeys with monkey faces? Why didn't they say, oh, Melania should have come out and said something? She should have spoken against Trump for that. She should have offered her condolences or apologized to Michelle and Barack. They didn't say that. See, let me tell you something about this. Here's the thing with racist devils. Because that's what the people on Fox News are, racist devils. And the people who watch them collectively on a regular basis, their main subscribers are racist devils too. So just go read the comments one day if you don't believe it. But here's the thing. It is the audacity, dare I say, and the arrogance and the entitlement of any racist person to think that the same Black people or Black person that they have ridiculed consistently, told lies on, disparaged, and everything else you can think of, they want this person to come and defend one of their own. Now, the reason they think that they should be able to say this is because they feel, racist people that is, specifically racist to white people. Okay, because out of all the racists in the world, the racist white people are the worst. Because the thing about them is they have to let us know that they're racist. They have to come and let us know that they don't like us. They have to come out here and call us the N-word or say things to tick us off or provoke us to anger. They have to walk up to people who are speaking foreign languages and tell them, oh, you're in the U.S., speak English. But when they go out of this country, they don't speak the languages there. I know MAGA doesn't because they're too stupid. So with that all being said, they have the audacity to think that we're supposed to be holding to them, that we're supposed to defend them. You know why they think that? I'm so glad you asked. Because their ancestors had some of the, what do you want to call them? The raccoons. Okay, some of the scared to death Negroes. They had some of them that would run and snitch on the other Black folk. They had some of them that when the boss or the master got sick, they said, we sick, boss. So they acted like Fiddler on Roots. And they acted like Steven from Django. Okay. So they think that that's how we're all supposed to act. Like no matter how they talk trash about us, no matter how they treat us low down and just be racist and all of this, that when they come a calling, we're supposed to come and defend them tooth and nail. Think about how, this is literally how they think, really. Okay, think about how when they get upset, hold on. Think about how they do us. Like when they get upset, they talk all this trash and say all these things about us. And then, but when there's a cause that they believe in, they want us to come and be a part of the cause. Come out there and protest and fight and stand right alongside them. Oh, Black women, I know we didn't stand there for you. We weren't there for you. But please, this is all about our reproductive. Remember that? See, the very people who didn't give a darn about our struggles and issues will always want us to come and give a damn about theirs. And some of y'all will do it. Okay, some of you will do it. The type that have the brain cells like Nicki Minaj. Okay, with that all being said, Buckhurst, DC, be careful of what you put in the chat. No racially disparaging comments allowed. Now, I'm going to delete your comment. Don't let me have to tell you again, beloved, okay? I don't want to have to put you in a timeout. All right. I know you might get hyped up because I'm going in, but careful of how you speak on people. Now, with that all being said, yeah, they feel like we're supposed to come out there and jump in front of the bullet for them. Okay, jump in front of the gun and take the bullet. That's literally what some of them think because they're white and they say so. Okay, you're not as important as them. So Michelle Obama, she hears them talking about Melania and she hears Jimmy Kimmel making this joke and Melania and Trump are upset. So Michelle Obama, you're the former first lady. How come you didn't get up there and defend her? What's wrong with you? That's how they feel. Isn't that crazy? Has Melania ever defended Michelle Obama or any other first lady for that matter? Okay, please make it all make sense. Now I'm going to go to the footage so you all can hear this foolishness for yourself. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
And my second observation is I would really appreciate if any former First Lady would release a statement and just say, I stand in support of this First Lady. Because that absence of commentary in the way of many, Michelle Obama is on her podcast all the time. We've heard her thoughts on a lot of things. Can she just spare one sentence in support of this First Lady who has been through so much, who has a target on her in the public square and out? It is horrifyingly atrocious how she has been treated. I would love for there to be some support coming out of her mouth. And my second observation is I would really appreciate if any former First Lady would really...
Well, she first said any former First Lady, and then she brings it back to Michelle. Sit down somewhere. She has a target on her back. I want you to pay attention to how the least little thing can be said about a white woman, and they're painted as the victim. Now, all Jimmy Kimmel said, if memory serves me correct, is he made a joke about her being a widow sometime soon. I don't remember his words verbatim, but that's basically what he said, right? Now, I'm sorry, why does she need to be defended from that? Why does she need to be defended from that? Let's not forget that these women have come out and said something about Michelle and the Epstein stuff. I'm sorry, about Melania and the Epstein stuff. And Melania came out and did that press conference real quick to try to get ahead of the story. Melania's no angel. She's not innocent. Okay, Michelle has no business defending her. She could defend herself. She's a grown-ass woman. She came out there to defend herself when she knew that story was coming out about the Epstein debacle. Okay? And about Paulo Zampoli. All right? So she came out and defended herself then. She can defend herself now. Okay, please sit down somewhere, Fox News. Y'all are the last ones who should be calling for Michelle Obama to defend anyone that's on the right. That's crazy. And I think about how they said Michelle was a man, how they said that she looked like a monkey, how they said all of these hateful, racist, disparaging things about her. Talked about her body because her arms were fit, because she chooses to work out and eat healthy. She's the most beautiful First Lady ever, as far as I'm concerned. So when people were saying all these racist, hateful things about her, what did Fox News have to say about it? Did they ever once try to defend her? Tell people to fall back? Okay, that's not nice. Just if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. They didn't do any of that. So why the hell do they think Michelle owes anything to Melania? She doesn't. Like I said, when Trump posted that picture, that little video clip he posted with Michelle and Obama with looking like monkeys, Melania didn't say a damn thing. And she knew her husband did that. If she was a real First Lady with class, okay, who was regal, she would have come out and said something about that then and said, you know what? Donald was out of order. I don't know why he would post something like that. Or since he was lying and denying and saying he didn't do it, remember? She still could have said, whoever did such a thing, that is absolutely disgusting, and I denounce it. But did she do any of that? No, she didn't. She didn't say shit. Okay, she didn't say a damn thing. All right, excuse my French, but she did. And so with that all being said, I'm sorry, Michelle doesn't need to ever defend her. For what? They really think Black people are supposed to defend them after they treat us like crap. It's amazing to me, the foolishness of it all. And here's the thing. Let's talk about the time when Michelle actually did reach out to her. And if you all also remember the time when President Obama and Michelle had Donald Trump and Melania come to meet with them. You all remember? I remember, because if memory serves me correct, Melania was wearing like a light blue. One of them was wearing light blue, and I think it was Melania. But nonetheless, if you remember, Trump walked on in. He walked ahead of Melania. Didn't try to help her with the present she was carrying or anything. He just walked on ahead. It was Michelle and Obama who attended to her. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that? So rather than saying that Michelle Obama needs to defend her, well, tell her husband to do it. That's his job. That's what your husbands are for. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this post right here. Let's go to this post right here. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I mean, it's the nerve of it all. Says Michelle Obama says Melania Trump never reached out to her for advice on how to be the first lady. Now, the reason she brought this up is because she was asked the question. Michelle Obama once revealed that she had extended an offer to Melania Trump to provide support, but it was never taken up. This came after she was asked whether Melania had reached out for any advice during the transition into the first lady role. In her response, Michelle said that no such contact had occurred. Melania's team, on the other hand, responded by emphasizing her strength and independence, making it clear that she preferred to handle things her own way without seeking external guidance. Okay, there you have it. So she could do the same when somebody's talking ish about her or Trump. Okay? She's independent and strong. That's what they said, emphasizing her strength and independence. There you have it. Now, this situation marks a break from a long-standing tradition of outgoing first ladies offering assistance to their successors. Historically, these offers have helped ease the transition, fostering a sense of continuity and support. However, the absence of this gesture between Michelle Obama and Melania Trump highlights the different approaches both women have taken in their roles as first ladies. It doesn't do anything with Michelle because Michelle offered. Melania never responded back. Okay, so let's not try to act like Michelle didn't offer. Now, the decision to not take up Michelle Obama's offer can be seen in different lights, depending on one's perspective. For some, it might reflect a desire for independence and the ability to navigate the demanding role of the First Lady without external influence. For others, it may seem like a missed opportunity to foster a sense of unity and cooperation between the two administrations. Either way, both sides have made their positions clear, even if they haven't addressed the matter openly, leaving the public to draw their own conclusions. Okay, so like I said, Michelle did offer and she didn't accept. And not that she had to, but I'm just saying, if she's so strong and independent, please, let her defend herself. Okay, so Poetical Wind says Melania stole her whole speech before too. Yes, I did a whole live on that. Absolutely, she did. She quoted Michelle's speech word for word. And then when I did a story about it, I was on Facebook at the time. I wasn't even on YouTube when that happened. But when I did a thing about it on Facebook, this lady was like, some Karen was like, Melania is very highly educated. She doesn't need to copy from Michelle. I said, what college did Melania graduate from again? What university? Yeah, she had nothing to say. And second of all, Melania used to be a corn model. Okay. And so when she's talking about, oh, she's so classy and this and that, she's more classier than Michelle. I said, how? How is a corn model more ethical, more classy and regal and any of those things than someone who graduated from Ivy League colleges, at least two? Okay, please make it all make sense. And she could not. Okay, she absolutely could not. So now with that all being said, and not to disparage Melania, but the truth is the truth, right? This is just what it is. Can you imagine if Michelle Obama had previously been a corn model and her pictures of her butt and all that were out all over the internet? We'd have never heard the end of it. At the end of the day, she would have never been the first lady. Okay, that's for one. They would have never allowed her or Obama to be in that White House. But you can have white people who are just, typical, uneducated, had all kind of shady things going on in the past, Trump included, and they can get right in the White House. Sarah Palin, her daughter was 16 years old and had a baby. Now, I'm not saying that's so much wrong with that, but what I'm saying is they had Sarah Palin up there and they never even said anything about the fact that she had an unwed teen child living in her home, right? But if that had been a Black person, they would have been calling them ghetto, saying, oh, are they on welfare? Oh, do they need Section 8? Where's the baby daddy? Y'all know they would have been doing all of that. But it's always a different standard for us. We have to be perfect. Everything has to be right about us. Okay, you think that would have let President Obama be in the White House if he had one felony, let alone 34? If he had one allegation of SA? Look at Brett Kavanaugh. Still made it to the Supreme Court after all the stuff they said about him. Okay, so I'm just saying. Now, with that all being said, let's continue because I really want to get to this Cory Booker story. I want to get to this Cory Booker story. Hold on, we're going to save that for last. Because Savvy Sabs dropped some hell of a receipts on him, and I'm just going to show her video and respond to it. Okay, because I was like, I don't need to go look up all these receipts. She's already got them. She's done the work, and shout out to her for that. But I'm going to show you all her video, and we're going to discuss it. Now, but before we get to that, let's just talk about the comedy roast. Because, I did mention this the other day, how Cat Williams got up there, they asked him to come or whatever, but that's not the controversy. The controversy is the fact that this comedian by the name of Tony, what's his name? Tony Hinchcliffe. He told a joke about George Floyd that many people didn't think was funny. And also, there were some people who said that it was awkward. After he said it, that everybody just got quiet and it was real awkward. Now, I don't know why he thought it was funny or cute for him to bring up George Floyd. Now, some people will say, well, oh, it's jokes, it's comedy. You can say whatever. Well, that's true to a degree. But here's the thing. Don't let your comedy get you effed up. Because that man who said that joke about George Floyd, first of all, George Floyd didn't have anything to do with the roast, so why bring him up? And he knows that that's something that Black people are serious about and would easily get offended about because we had those marches, protests, and all that going on about George Floyd. Okay, so he absolutely knew that was going to offend Black people. When you're doing a comedy roast, you're not supposed to be trying to offend the audience. Okay, you're supposed to be trying to offend the person you're roasting. That's how that works. Okay, so I had a whole problem with that when I heard it, and a few other people did. But there are some people like Cheryl Underwood and Tiffany Haddish who didn't think it was a problem at all. Because Tiffany Haddish, when they asked her about it on TMZ, she basically was like, oh, you mean, they asked her about the people complaining about it or whatever, and she was like, oh, you mean the people, the comedians who weren't invited? And then she just walked off. So I guess that was her. She's basically saying, oh, they're complaining because they're really mad because they weren't invited. Well, no, maybe they were complaining because they didn't think it was funny and that it was inappropriate. Okay? See, these same people wouldn't get their asses up there and tell a joke about the Holocaust. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And if they did, I guarantee you nobody would laugh. They'd be scared to. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? Because I'm sick and tired of Black people being the butt of people's jokes. Now, you can tell jokes, but you should not be bringing up dead people. Now, Cheryl Underwood let them talk jokes about her husband who self-deleted back in the 90s. Okay, if she was fine with that, okay, then so be it. But I don't want to hear jokes about George Floyd because I don't think it's funny at all. Okay? I don't think it's funny at all. But see how they disrespect Black people? Look how they called Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan the N-word over there in the UK. And then they're acting like we're supposed to just dismiss it because that grown-ass man has Tourette's and he can't control what he says. Well, then why'd you invite him? And how come y'all didn't edit that part out like you edited out the part where he said the F word? Make it make sense. Okay? Make it make sense. But anywho, let's go to the comedian Sh00ting, what he had to say about it. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. And I'm going to use an overlay. Okay. Mr. Midnight Decipher said, I would laugh if it was funny. Well, it wasn't funny. Okay, it wasn't funny. And a Black man being lynched in broad daylight by the police is never going to be funny. Who's ever going to think that's funny? Okay, only a fool. Okay, only a fool or a racist. Nobody besides a racist piece of ish is going to think that's funny. I promise you. Okay, now with that all being said, let's continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen a lot of people react to Kevin Hart's roast saying that it was offensive and there was a lot of, things that were said that were just downright wrong and this, that, and whatever. This is a telltale sign that we have gotten away from what comedy actually is. We so lost. It's a roast. It's supposed to be offensive. It's supposed to be. Now I know there was a couple of them that jokes that went a little too far. The George Floyd joke, yeah, okay, that right there, a little too far, because you're supposed to be offending Kevin Hart. You understand? I mean, you know, we can that it's supposed to be directed towards Kevin and the people that's on the panel. You know what I mean? But hey, to each his own. Now, you know what I mean? Cheryl Underwood got up there and stepped on everybody's neck as she was supposed to. They came for her and she came back at them. That's from what I understand. But you know, we have gotten so removed. Comedy has gotten so diluted and so messed up that we don't know what comedy is anymore. We really don't know. We done got every time nobody can say anything without somebody crying and pissing on themselves. You can't say anything about anybody at any point in any time without somebody just defecating all in their pants and going running and crying to their mama. Stop being so damn sensitive. It's a roast. Do you know what a roast is? They supposed to be getting on your ass. And that's what they did. For the most part. But, you know, whatever.
Okay, so those are his thoughts. And you know, I didn't watch it. I said I was going to, but I never got around to it. I was busy. But with that, and you know, Kevin Hart, I'm really not a fan of him anyway. I think he's watered down and just basically a sellout. That's just my opinion. Now, that all being said, let's talk about what Cheryl Underwood said, because they played what she had to say on The Breakfast Club. Okay, so I'm going to play the audio. I'm not going to put the video up. Okay, let's listen to it.
There's been a big conversation about some of the jokes that were thrown her way about her husband's passing, his suicide, and then also some of the words that were used on stage. The Rock using the R word in specifically.
True roast comedy is not for mainstream domain. You're talking about Netflix, and I know people don't agree, but what I thought was good about what The Rock did, everybody was questioning his blackness, and he really made the connection. It's a way for us to talk about the issues with humor and come to some common ground. Years ago, you couldn't say M word for little people, couldn't say R word for the disabled. Sometimes politically correctness does not fit in comedy. I didn't listen to The Rock speech and say to myself, you know what, that makes me think he's more black. I listened to The Rock speech and I thought to myself, hey, that's The Rock. Y'all must not remember how wild WWE used to be.
I said that. I didn't watch a lot of him on WWE.
That was The Rock. The Rock, that's how The Rock, that's The Rock I know.
Yeah. And I don't know why a lot of people was mad at, well, I do know why a lot of people were mad at Cheryl Underwood's like back-to-back jokes about her husband, but she approved all of that. Like like Shane and all of them, like they asked her if it was okay for them to do those jokes, and they had been testing them out the whole week. You know what I mean? So I do think Tony Hinchcliffe, although his issue was racist, it was funny to me. Like if you make something funny, it don't matter how offending it is, like if it's funny, it is comedy. It works.
Let's take a listen to the Tony Hinchcliffe joke that he did on the stage that got people upset. Let's take a listen.
Now, y'all listen to this joke and tell me if you think it's funny. Once, if you think it's funny. Twos, if not.
He got into a fist fight on a private plane. Proof that no matter how much money black people have, they're still just going to act like ninjas. It's fire. Like Bill Cosby, Hart is a black comedian from Philadelphia, and like Bill Cosby, women don't know when Kevin is inside of them. You've done good, though, Kevin. The black community is so proud of you right now. George Floyd is looking up at us all, laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
I didn't think that was funny. Yeah, personally, and this is my personal opinion, I think jokes about people dying, violent, tragic deaths should be off limits. Like George Floyd died at the hands of the police because of systemic racism. I don't see the funny in that. Yeah, I didn't see funny in that either.
Yeah, no, he was going and going and going, and he never came up for air. I thought he was funny until the last two. Now, those jokes, like, whole room quiet. I don't know if they edited laughs in there, but the whole room was quiet.
People were uncomfortable.
Man, what? Everybody, white people, black people, everybody, like, was very uncomfortable. Like,
there's no funny. Like, George Floyd died at the hands of the police. Like, he died a violent, tragic death. Like, there's no humor in that.
Well, Travis Keynes, he's a spokesperson for the Gianna and George Floyd Foundation. Gianna is George Floyd's daughter. Spoke to TMZ, and he said that the joke was sad for the culture. They said that George Floyd's friends and family feel like Kevin Hart should have told Tony to stay off the topic, if nothing else, and they were baffled and disgusted by Tony's obsession, they call it, with telling George Floyd jokes.
I also don't think they should be joked on because they have nothing to do with the roast.
Nothing at all.
Like, like the Cheryl Underwood, they're making jokes about her husband committing suicide. I wouldn't do that either, but she's there, right? Pete Davidson's father who died of that.
So basically, this guy must tell jokes about George Floyd often because George Floyd's family seems to think that he seems obsessed. So he must be telling these jokes often, as far as I'm concerned. Now, there was actually, hold on. There was actually another clip where they had with Terrence Floyd, which is the brother of George Floyd, what he had to say. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Give me just a second. Okay, here it is right here. Hold on. Let's let this ad go through first. I mean, joking about lynchings and stuff is never going to be funny to me. Okay? Period.
With Terrence Floyd, he is the brother of George Floyd, and he was responding to the Tony Hinchcliffe joke that was told at the Kevin Hart roast about George Floyd. He believes Kevin Hart should have spoke up. Let's take a listen.
My thing with Kevin, and I'm a fan, I feel like my family and their friends, they said, responded right then and there, like, well, wait, hold up. Because I remember Kevin Hart and a few other celebrities was at the Minnesota funeral. In that respect, me watching some clips of certain other jokes, a lot of it just felt good. It wasn't tasteful.
Now, Terrence Floyd also talks about Gianna Floyd, who is the daughter of George Floyd, and how she deals with these moments and the jokes and how it comes back on her. Let's take a listen. One of the other things they mentioned was like Gianna and George Floyd's daughter, your niece, being teased in school and how stuff like this doesn't help. Like, does she get direct response from things like this because they're so viral? She's getting older now.
She was 6 when this happened. She's 12 now. I was talking to Travis yesterday. We realized something always is talked about or happened, or somebody say something or bring up controversy or whatever around my brother's name when it's nearing the anniversary of his death. It happened with this, it happened with Charlie Kirk, it happened with Lil Yachty. We say keep saying his name, but we don't want this narrative. It's crazy. We upset, but I'm focusing more on the well-being of my niece.
Oh, yeah, the death anniversary is May 25th.
Yes, yes, it is May 25th. Now, he also talked about part of the joke where Tony Hinchcliffe says to Kevin Hart that George Floyd is looking up at him. Let's take a listen to Terrence Floyd on that.
It was a part in there where we always say, my brother looking down on us because we took it positive. The fact that he said that he's looking up, we were stuck on that. When we heard it, he was like, he's looking up from where? Are you trying to say he's in hell? So this is not what comedy is supposed to do. It's not supposed to have us thinking about what you meant. Oh, we're supposed to laugh to heal.
As I said yesterday, what's funny to you is a trigger to others, and that's why the roast should only be about people who are participating in the roast.
Exactly, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Exactly. Dialogue 77 said, why get upset? Tell a Charlie Kirk joke and see how it's taken. Well, they didn't like Charlie Kirk jokes. Okay. We already know how they took that, and they didn't take it well. Okay. They got upset about it. And so, yeah, we absolutely can get upset about George Floyd. Absolutely. Okay. I would have told him a thing or two had I been there. I promise you that. Okay. I promise you that. Now, with that all being said, let's go to what? Hold on. Yeah, let's go to a Savvy Sam's exposed about Cory Booker. Okay, because Cory Booker, I want you all to pay attention because you see, I've been telling you all that we should not vote for any of these people who've been taking money from AIPAC. Their allegiance is not to the citizens of the United States. It just isn't. Okay, they've made their choices. And with that all being said, we should not vote for them. We should vote them out. Okay, please pay attention. Now, Cory Booker has gotten wind of this, and all of a sudden, now he wants to act like he's not taking AIPAC money. I don't give a damn if you don't ever take another dime. You took it in the first place. Okay, you took it in the first place. And for all we know, they could be giving it to you on the sideline so that it's not reported. Who knows what's going on? I don't trust them, and I never will, and neither should any of you. Okay, but let's continue. I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, shout out to Sammy Sams for going in on him and pulling out the receipts. I love to see it because we already knew he was a whole raccoon, but this just further proves it. Okay, I'm going to use an overlay.
Case study QB for this clip.
One thing you announced today that caught my eye is that you are giving up PAC money, accepting it. You've accepted it before, including from the pro-Israel lobby, AIPAC. You're not going to be taking money from them anymore. You're not the only Democrat who has said this, by the way. So have Governor Newsom, Governor Shapiro, Andy Bashir, the governor, they all say the same. Why?
Well, so first of all, let me make it clear. 10 years ago, one of the first people in Congress to say no corporate PACs, because I think this corporate money is killing our politics. I said also that the bedrock of my support will always be small dollar or individual contributors. It's over 80% of my money. I am trying to say one of the most dangerous things in Washington right now is a corruption of money in politics. And when my team kicked it around, running for re-election this year, before we announce what's more can we do. And so ideological PACs and issue area PACs, we just said, okay, enough. We will not take that as well to set a standard. You can say all you want other people should change, but you should show yourself to me as an example before you start trying to change the system. What's going to follow this for us, and I want to foreshadow that, is an omnibus bill to end the corruption of money in politics and the corruption of our politicians who do everything from trade individual stocks all the way to a president who created his own meme coin that's being overwhelmingly being invested in by foreign nations that are enriching him and affecting our foreign policy.
So, Cory made that announcement in March of this year. You should know that Cory Booker is up for re-election this year for the Senate. And when he made this announcement, you know, I saw some people cheering and said, yes, this means the Democratic Party is moving left, right? The Democratic Party is not actually left, but the Democratic Party is moving left. They're hearing our voices and they're making changes. And I kind of warned people back then that I feel like something is happening where candidates are reading the writing on the wall and they are seeing that the voters, especially younger voters, they don't want them taking money from the pro-Israel lobby. Plus you have Track AIPAC that's calling everybody out on social media, and rightfully so. And so they adjusted. Some of them adjusted like Cory Booker, and they said, okay, I'm just not going to take money from single issue PACs, and which would include also AIPAC. But what I warned people was that just because they decide not to take the money, that doesn't mean that they're not going to support legislation and vote in such a way that is going to benefit Israel. And now we are at that point because just recently, Cory Booker had another interview, this time on Meet the Press. And I want to show you what he said now when he was questioned about supporting Israel going forward. And you can almost see him get a little nervous when she brings up the Israel part. So he's ranting here about Donald Trump and his behavior in the Middle East first, and then he gets into that. So listen to this.
Way Out included a short-term deal that punted dealing with the nuclear program. Is that something you would back?
Well, remember, I've been leading in the Senate with a handful of my other colleagues to end this conflict. That's what we're demanding. I am sorry that the United States Senate, Republicans who are leading that, have done nothing truly to hold President Trump accountable, to provide sufficient oversight or any checks and balances. My work is to end this conflict. And again, unfortunately, Donald Trump has made us less safe. He has created more chaos in that region. He has given more long-term strength and leverage to Iran, a more radical regime There's still fissile material, highly enriched, that was not there at the beginning of his first term. He has dug us deeper and deeper into a quagmire hold, and he is a danger. As many of his first-term national security advisors said to us, he would be a danger to national security. Sadly, that's playing out.
I do want to talk about the Senate. The U.S., of course, is partnering with Israel with this war. You joined a record number of Democrats, 40 senators, who recently voted against sending more arms to Israel. A similar effort a year ago only got 15 Democratic votes, for example. Are you now opposed to the U.S. sending arms to Israel going forward?
Let's pause right here. I love this, FM. He is 10 demands short. I love this. I love this. So if you just heard that part and you heard him, you heard her just say that he was one of those senators that signed on to say, listen, we're not going to send, we can't send them the weapons, and you don't know much about Cory Booker and his financial interests, the money that's been donated to him, you probably walked away from this saying, oh, okay, well, Cory Booker, he's one of the ones that signed on, and that's a good thing. But here's the part where you really miss. That's really important, because just because Cory Booker said he's not going to take single, issue packs anymore, which again does include AIPAC, that doesn't mean he's not going to continue to support Israel. And he exposes himself right here. This is what I was warning people about.
Let's be clear. I'm opposed to a reckless war that has made the United States and Israel less safe, as well as our other Arab allies. I will not support arms to the United States or...
Pause. Pay attention to what he just said, right? He said, Israel safe. He's opposed to a war in the Middle East that obviously would not keep Israel safe and the other Arab allies. See, sometimes these politicians, they talk so fast and people aren't paying attention to their words. And that's intentional, by the way. They give you like this word salad answer so that you're not paying attention to what you're actually saying. So just to recap, listen to what he actually says right about here.
Forward.
Let's be clear. I'm opposed to a reckless war that has made the United States and Israel less safe, as well as our other Arab allies.
That has made the U.S., Israel, and the Arab allies safe. He doesn't say that has made the Palestinian people unsafe or less safe. There's a whole genocide happening in Gaza. There's settler violence and killing taking place in the West Bank. But he is focused on keeping the U.S., Israel, and the Arab allies safe. That doesn't include the Palestinians. They are not considered a U.S. ally because there is no, Gaza is not a state. There isn't a Palestinian state. They don't have statehood. Did everybody catch that?
How would y'all get
One bag, infinite.
Now, he first of all said he wouldn't support any war that's going to make is not real in the U.S. less safe. But here's the thing. The U.S. started this war. And if they're not safe, it's because of things that they did themselves. Okay? He should have said, in my opinion, that he's not going to support a war where they're purposely targeting innocent children. Because that's what they did on the first day. They struck that school 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That was intentional. There's no way they can make us think it was an accident. They hit the school the first time, and then people went in to try to help and save anyone that survived, and then they hit it again to kill the people who went in. And then after the second strike, more people went in to try to help, and they hit them again. Okay, now how low down and demonic is that? But this is what Cory Booker supports. Do not vote for him, okay, if you live in his district. He has to go, period. And anybody with his ideology has to go. Okay, if you want to see real change, you have to get rid of these people who are not beholden to you. Let's not forget the people who said that the Black youth are the problem. Why in the hell are the black youth the problem? Why are they picking on the black youth only? So you mean to tell me no other race or ethnic group has problematic teenagers or young people? Just the black folk? Who are the school shooters? Okay, there's no white kids out here robbing and stealing. Of course there are. They're not going to post it all over the news like they do when it's your kids. But look up the stats. So why would they say, BB's people, why would they say that the black youth are the problem? How are they the problem for them? Is it because they know who they are? And they're saying that they're the Israelites that the Bible speaks of? Is that why they're a problem, perhaps? But let's continue.
Imagine if, and I point out Cory, and I pick on Cory a lot because Cory is a big one that says he's a champion for civil rights here in the United States. He goes around the country and he tells that story about what happened to his parents when they were trying to buy a house in New Jersey, and they had, the white friend that helped them out and all this kind of stuff. He talks about that a lot. Imagine if someone had said to Cory Booker, again, I don't support anything that's going to keep white people, Asian people, Latino people less safe, and didn't mention black people as well, or indigenous people as well. Sounds really bad, doesn't it?
Yep, but he wouldn't care.
Cory Booker just did that. And I'm going to explain to you why he did that in just a second. I'm going to show you how Cory Booker was indoctrinated to support and not just support Israel, but to believe that they are the best ones, that the Israelis are the chosen people. I'm going to show you, this goes way back before he was a politician.
About Israelis, it says
I will not support arms to the United States or any of our allies, including Israel, in the context of a war that is endangering our national security and Israel's.
Catch that. He won't support it in the context of a war that endangers Israel and the Gulf allies. That means he will support sending weapons if he feels they're not going to be endangered. Do you see how he uses these words in such a way that if you're not paying close attention, it can make you think? Some people, they're walking away from this and they were saying, Cory Booker said he's not going to support sending weapons to Israel. I'm like, did he? That's not what he said. So.
And let me tell you something. That's another problem I have with black people. Many black people sadly have selective hearing. They don't hear what actually is said. They often hear what they want to hear. They will even make up whole scenarios about what the person meant. Okay? They'll act like it was left up to interpretation, as if the person didn't just speak English that we all could hear. But they'll say, oh no, they probably meant so-and-so. Okay, like yesterday, for example, when Juju was saying that Nicki Minaj, when I brought up Nicki Minaj and how she's a whole raccoon and favors Trump, and then Juju said, oh no, she has a plan behind it. Like she has some master plan, but that's the only reason she went and did all that stuff with Trump. No, that's not what it is. She's a raccoon, period. And even if she had a master plan, even if she was trying to get her husband out of the situation where he has to report, where he's living at and all of that stuff, take him off the SCXual registry, or whether she was trying to make sure she doesn't get deported, who knows? But the bottom line is she's still a raccoon regardless. A raccoon. Like, make it all make sense. Okay, but let's continue.
It's politician speak.
I continue to support our U.S. military being the strongest in the world. I continue to support Israel having a qualitative military edge, the ability to defend themselves and offer deterrence. But in the context of this war, I will not support more military armaments to conduct what I think is a disaster that's endangering American lives, Israeli lives, and as we see in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, our regional allies as well.
So just
think about what he just told you. Whose lives are endangered according to Cory Booker? And he's talking about the Iran war. He said the Israelis, the Arab allies, because he mentioned the UAE, etc., U.S. lives, He didn't say Iranian lives. Cory Booker didn't say anything about the children that were killed in the Iranian school. Iranians have been killed during this war. He doesn't care if their lives are endangered. Everybody catch this? Nothing about it. Nothing about it. But this is the civil rights dude. Now, Cory Booker is up for re-election this year. And here's what I believe he's going to try to do. So obviously, it seems like he's still running for re-election. That's why he's trying to make this pivot, which isn't really a full pivot. And then I believe he's going to try to run for president in 2028. I believe he's going to try to run again. This time around, he's married. He's got himself a wifey now. He's wifed up. So now he's got everything in place. He's got the wife. He can say, hey, I don't take money from AIPAC anymore. Seems like he's lining up all the stars.
The Mediterranean diet is the world's healthiest diet, and Factor makes it easy to eat that way every day.
To be very clear, you would vote to approve arms sales for Israel in a future entanglement if you thought that was necessary.
Again, we have a long-standing commitment to Israel having a qualitative military edge. I will continue to support that. I will not support this kind of war. And we have a nation now that's looking at our disastrous president, a disastrous leader of Israel, who in this war are hurting our nation, their nation, and that region. I cannot support this war effort.
So there you have it, folks. He believes that Israel should have a military edge. The U.S. should have the best military in the world. So yes, Cory Booker will still support sending weapons to Israel. He just doesn't support sending weapons to Israel for the war with Iran. See how this works? Which means that Cory Booker supports Israel doing their destruction of the Palestinian people. He supports it. And the reason why he supports it is because he believes it. He was brainwashed to believe it. And I want to show you a couple of examples here. First of all, you don't get this kind of money. Let me put this up here. You don't get this kind of money from the pro-Israel lobby all over these years. Over 800,000 from PACs, over 4.9 million from their lobby donors. They don't give you this kind of money to make that kind of pivot where you say, I'm not supporting Israel at all. And even though he's not going to take the money now, he's already in the game. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be deceived. I don't want you to be tricked and fooled by some of these candidates like Cory Booker. He's not the only one. I noticed Ryan Grimm and Dropside News, they've been calling out other Democrat candidates who are telling people they're not taking pro-Israel money, but they're still like meeting with Zionists and still willing to pursue that greater Israel project, which Cory Booker believes in, by the way. The best thing that can happen is that you do not support this guy. Cory Booker needs to be voted out of office. See what I mean? He's not going to turn on Israel. That's not happening. And when he was questioned about this a while back, this was Jennifer Welch from I Have Had It podcast. Like, she really tried to read him on this, and just watch his expression.
I'm one of a handful of people that don't take corporate PAC money.
What about AIPAC money? You take AIPAC money, don't you?
A minuscule percentage of my resources come from.
I read it's like 800,000.
Yeah, but that's a lifetime number.
When you did your 25-hour speech, I was like, go, Cory. I love this. That is amazing. And then there's a photo shoot with you with Benjamin Netanyahu. And I was just like, what in the actual like, how can he do that? It was heartbreaking. I felt betrayed. I felt like it diminished your 25 hours. That's how it felt to me. Do you think he's a war criminal, Benjamin Netanyahu? Do you think he's a war criminal?
Again, these are questions that a lot of people think are the important litmus tests that are loaded and hot. My urgency is to be an effective leader in bringing an end to this crisis. And I get these questions all the time that to me undermine my urgency.
I think the thing that Democrats get so frustrated with, where we are right now, where you see like the Zoran Mamdanis and the Graham Plattners rise up, because they can go on podcasts and you can say, do you think Benjamin Netanyahu's a war criminal? And they just say, yes. And that's the end of it. It's not all of the rhetoric answering. It's like what happens to Democratic politicians, they go through this like prism, and then we can't ever get like the answer to yes or no conversations.
Much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, here's my take.
The reason why Cory Booker didn't answer that question about whether or not he believes that Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal is because he doesn't. And the reason why he doesn't believe it is because he supports the Greater Israel Project. That's why. I want to show you something else here. Of course, he wasn't going to say that like during the interview, right? So he tries to find a way to dodge it, just like he tried to dodge in this damn picture. That was Cory Booker right there. There's Benjamin Netanyahu. And this was fairly recent. I shared this in July of 2025. Benjamin Netanyahu came to DC, and Cory Booker is right over here, and he tries to dodge to try not to have his face in the picture. Okay? He does not believe Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. Just like Chuck Schumer, who's in this picture. Also, same thing. None of these people have a problem with Benjamin Netanyahu. None of them. Cory was the only one who tried to hide his face, though. That's very telling. But when you go back through Cory's past, you go back to 1993 when Cory was at Oxford. This is Cory Booker and Rabbi Shmuley. And what you'll see here is, this is an old video because this is back when Cory Booker had hair. Cory Booker gave a piggyback ride to Rabbi Shmuley, who was dressed in a clown suit. 3 decades later, Booker sits among the most powerful Democrats in Washington. Look.
Hell no.
Dear Mr. Paul.
Okay, y'all saw that? A whole raccoon. He's carrying that man on his back. Okay, now here's the thing. Let me say something to Songwriter Sonny, because Songwriter Sonny is putting a bunch of comments in the chat that lets me know that he clearly is pressed and stressed because we're going in on Cory Booker, but we're going to continue to go in on him. And if you don't like it, beloved, you can just tune out. Come back during the next broadcast. That's what you can do. Saying y'all not going to start this nonsense. Cory has nothing to do with what's going on because of someone else. Don't start this find a black male to blame campaign. It's not about finding a black male to blame campaign, beloved. Okay? The main one to blame is Trump. That's for number one. But Cory Booker, the fact that he's a black man doesn't really have much to do with it. The fact of the matter is he's taking money from AIPAC. Okay, so he's already shown where his allegiance lies. And that does have everything to do with him. That's why we're talking about him. Him and the rest of the people who've taken money from AIPAC, yeah, it's about them. Okay? And we're not going to vote for them. We want them out. Now, if you want to vote for Cory Booker, you go right ahead. Okay, but don't get mad because we're going in on him. And if you don't like it, like I said, tune out, log off, come back for the next broadcast. Okay, that's what I would advise anyone to do that doesn't like what's being discussed. Songwriter Sonny said, yes, it is. They do it every single day. Who's they? Who's they? And even if people do it every day, that's their prerogative. It's called freedom of speech. Just because you like Cory Booker, nobody else has to like him, honey. Nobody else has to say nice things about him just because you may choose to. Some of us don't care for him, okay? And we have a right to express our thoughts, views, and opinions just like you do. You see, that's the problem with some of you. Some of you think that your opinion is the only one that matters. You think that because you like someone and other people are criticizing them, you're supposed to get mad and lash out and try to defend them. Well, you can defend them all you want, but if we want to criticize them, that's what we're going to do. Okay, that's how that's going to work on this channel. But let's continue.
That's Cory Booker, 1993.
Yeah, look like a whole raccoon.
So remember what I told you, how they start coming after them when they're in college? So they sought out Cory Booker early on. And Cory was the one that told AIPAC they should start going after the black kids when they're in high school. That's what he
Parents,
told
tell
them.
your
He
black
said,
children
start
the
recruiting
truth.
them when they're in high school.
Let them know that
There he
these are the
is.
same people, and make
Cory
sure.
is.
Hold on, let me pause for a second, and make sure you let your black children and teenagers know that these are the same people who said that they're the problem. They said the black youth is the problem. Okay, make sure they know that. Okay, but let's continue.
It's gone. You guys hear me? We're talking about decades of indoctrination. Here's another one. Right here. Cory Booker goes all the way back with Rabbi Shmuley. He was the rabbi's student president at Oxford. This is how far they go back. Cory isn't like some of the politicians where he ran for office and AIPAC decided to support him and say, hey, will you stand by Israel? No, he was indoctrinated long before. He's even more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So he believes that. He believes that Israel is entitled to all of that land.
And you didn't see not one other black person in that video with him carrying Shmuley for a piggyback ride. You didn't see any more black people in there. Okay. I'm sorry. He's not like us. Period. He's not like us. Okay. He's not like us. And we're not voting for him. Let's continue.
He didn't mention the Palestinians being killed because he doesn't care about them.
No.
He's been brainwashed not to. So there you go. So everyone, please, let's be very careful. Don't let them, fool me once. Let's be very careful. Do not let the Cory Bookers, who all of a sudden say, I'm not going to take this money anymore. You really got to drill them on these things because they're choosing not to take the money, but they're still doing the bidding and the work of Israel. So don't fall for it. And guys, just please pay attention. It's not enough now for me to say, follow the money. That's the thing. Now I have to say, follow the money and do some research. Ask them these questions about Israel. Watch them squirm in their seat. And then you got your answer right there. Watch them dodge these questions and then you'll understand.
Okay. So, shout out to Sabby for that very insightful broadcast, might I say, because I had no idea that Cory has been down since 1993 and that he was carrying that man on his back, acting like Stephen from Django, clearly. Okay, now for those, shout out to the replay gang. Beloveds, when you all watch this, there's not going to be a chat, unfortunately, because I'm going to have to edit the video because I accidentally said a word, okay, that I didn't intend to say. Instead of saying raccoon, I actually said the actual word. So I'm going to have to edit that part. And when you edit the video, it takes away the chat. So sorry, but shout out to my replay gang. So with that all being said, listen, honey, we don't need to support these people, period. Okay? Because at the end of the day, they don't support you. Okay? They don't support you. When that's their agenda and that's what they're doing, they're not supporting you. Please pay attention. Okay? Now, with that all being said, let's go. I have a couple more clips to show you all, and then we're out of here. Okay, a couple of TikToks, and then I have to do my TikTok for today. Okay, hold on. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's get the likes up. Thank you in advance.
Racism is the sign of a diseased mind. I said what I said, 10 toes down. The creator Chud is a prime example of this. Chud has been going around with a firearm in his pants, bracing black individuals on the street, calling them the N-word. And then if they just leave, he says they're chimping out. But eventually these people's luck runs out and they run into somebody and or a community that isn't having anything to do with it. He did this at a gas station and the black individual came back and said, "What the fuck did you just say?" And he showed his pistol. So the black individual showed his pistol. Then people were recording. People of color were recording. And that black man slapped the shit out of Chud. And every time Chud was slapped. The black individuals filming it turned it away, so there was no video proof that he was smacking the shit out of Chud. Then last night, Chud went to a restaurant, ordered an expensive dinner, then didn't pay after he was harassing black individuals inside the dining establishment. And he got arrested. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, I forgot I was muted. So he's been going around trying to incite and provoke people, and look where it's gotten him with his stupid self. Now he shot somebody, okay, and then he accidentally shot himself. That's how stupid he is, okay? That's how stupid he is. Now, I'm quite sure that guy that he shot, I'm pretty sure that Chud the Builder likely started that, just like he always starts stuff. Okay, please pay attention. Now, this man right here was speaking nothing but the truth. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Is going on with the war right now in Iran is because of American racism. Full stop. That's not an exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. I honestly think most Americans don't even understand who we are as a country or what we've done. Iran had a democracy, one we would have gotten along with perfectly well. We would have supported it. But the right wing of American politics, through the CIA and British intelligence, stage a coup of the Iranian democracy to reinstall the Shah because they wanted to plunder oil from Iran like it's a colony and not a trading partner. The reason I say racism is, how come in the 1950s the United States wasn't overthrowing the government of France or Belgium or Sweden or England to plunder their markets? Oh, what's the difference? It's because the Iranian people were brown. Just like Ronald Reagan overthrew a democracy in Nicaragua because they were brown. If America actually lived by its principles, we would have supported the democracy in Iran, and we would be nowhere near where we are today. They would be a partner, an ally in the world. Racism is at the root of so many of America's ills because it has been there from the start and continues to manifest in right-wing politics, and enough is enough. Everything that is.
Okay, so he's clearly mad. Okay, but he told no lies. Did you all ever think about that? Whenever the United States talks about a change of regime, it's always people who are non-white. Okay? I mean, because they don't feel like, they don't like Putin. They say Putin's a dictator. Okay? You think they're going to go try it with Putin? No, they're not. Okay, they're not. You think they're going to try it with Macron? No. That's what they're not going to do. Okay, now I have one more video clip, and I want you all to see this, because this is what happened when ICE came to this woman's house with an administrative warrant. Okay, looking for someone. Now, right? Now, I want you all to pay attention, because here's the thing. I've told you all before that when ICE comes knocking at someone's door, if they don't have a judicial warrant signed by a judge, you don't have to let them in. Okay, they need to have a judicial warrant, not administrative. But watch this. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
I already told you, man. Once again, we're looking for Gabriel Gamero. Is he in the house? Yes or no?
I already asked you to please step out of my property. I didn't give you any permission to be in my property.
Okay, we have an administrative warrant to be in here. Okay, he's got a deportation order. So if he's here, you have to let me know. Otherwise, you're going to be under arrest as well.
But I'm not giving you permission to be inside of my property. You guys are violating my rights. You can't be inside of my house.
First of all, the door was open, okay? The door was open, so we walked in because the door was open. Now,
did y'all hear that? He said the door was open, so we walked in because the door was open. Oh, I'm sorry, what? So because someone's door is open, you think you can just walk in? Okay, try that with the wrong person. That's not a good idea ever, in my opinion.
Is he here or not?
It's open because I'm coming in and out. Can you guys just step out of my house? I'm not giving you
Where's
permission to
Gabriel?
leave.
We need to know. His car's in the driveway. I know he's here. Where is he?
Well, I need you guys to step out of my house. I don't.
We're not
give you
going to step out of the
permission.
house.
I'm not giving you permission to be inside of my property. You're violating my rights. Can you guys please step out?
We're not going to step out. I already told you. He's got a deportation order. I've got an administrative warrant right here. So I need to know whether or not he's home.
And this guy that's talking is clearly a raccoon, okay? Because he has the same accent she does, okay? Don't y'all find it interesting that some of them that are immigrants themselves actually work with ICE to deport other immigrants? Isn't that something? I'm sorry, but that's raccooning, okay, 101.
And I need you guys to step out of my house.
Ma'am, you're going to be under arrest if you don't cooperate.
I do not wish to answer any questions. I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I do not give you permission to enter my home based on my Fourth Amendment right. If you are here to enter my home, I require a judicial warrant signed by a judge that includes my name and address. You can slide that under the door or show it to me through the window. I choose to exercise my constitutional rights.
Okay, ma'am, I understand you have constitution.
Now watch, please pay attention. Now watch how his energy shifts. He was just talking tough. We're not going to step outside, and if you don't cooperate, you're going to be arrested too. Trying to be threatening and intimidating. But now watch how he's talking after she just read that paper. Because now he knows that she knows her darn rights.
Constitutional rights based on the red car. I know you know your rights. I'm just trying to make you understand that we do have a deportation order for Gabriel. So if he's home, I just need you to cooperate with us and let us know.
Well, what kind of warrant do you have?
It's an administrative warrant, okay?
Okay, that's not a judicial warrant. We need a judicial warrant that is signed by a judge. Otherwise, you guys are violating my rights. I need you to step out of my property and then come back with a warrant signed by the judge.
Okay, all right. We're going to go get a search warrant, man. We're going to come back, and if you don't cooperate with us, you're going to be under arrest as well. Do you understand that?
That's fine. Once you bring me that warrant signed by a judge, then I will let you inside of my property. But as of now, I need you to step out of my house.
Okay. All right, let's get out of here, man. Let's get the warrant.
I bet you they never came back, okay? I bet you they never came back. All right? You think judges are sitting here having time to write warrants and sign warrants for them? No. That's why they go in there with an administrative warrant as if that's supposed to hold weight. It doesn't. Okay, please. You see how they left so quick? And his energy completely changed. He's talking all big and bad at first. Okay, and see, that's why it's very important to know the law. Okay, that's why I went to school for criminal justice. So with that all being said, she doesn't have any rights, or I don't know. I think that's a typo. Okay, Robert says now he sounds like customer service. Okay, he went from being Billy Badass to being customer service. Okay, please. She has rights. She certainly does, and she knew them. Okay. He started stuttering real quick, says Quiet Storm. Yes, he absolutely did. He changed his whole tune. Okay, Trisha said the police tried this at my friend's house back in the day. They opened the door and my homeboy shut the door and told them, you can't come in here. Exactly. Go get a warrant. Okay, come back when you got a warrant. All right, period. That's how it goes. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I love you all to life. I'm about to be out of here. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please like, share, subscribe. Okay, don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed. All right, and so I will see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. Until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And if I said anything that offended anyone, well, you know what? That just basically shows that you just can't take the truth. Okay, because I don't purposely try to offend anyone. I just speak the truth and give the receipts along with my opinion and commentary. Okay, so for anyone that's mad, I mean, don't be mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here to do my job. Okay, please pay attention. Danielle said, Queen, can you start teaching online law classes to the Black community? No, absolutely not, beloved. Absolutely. I don't have time. I don't have time. Okay, I don't have time. And then I'm definitely not going to do it for free. If I was to do something like that, I'm charging. Okay, I'm charging. Y'all got people out here grifting, and y'all pay grifters with no problem, with no hesitation. And so if I'm out here teaching something, I'm going to charge y'all too, just so y'all know. Okay, please pay attention. All right, please pay attention. But that all being said, I got to get my coins too, honey. Okay, please, honey. ScrewTube doesn't let me make anything, so I got to get what I can get. All right. Oh, so when the people say you hurt my feelings, Queen, no, I didn't. Sit down somewhere. Okay. And so with that all being said, Jay Gray said, you don't have to apologize, speaking the truth. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so listen, I love you all to life. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives, beloveds. Okay, that's how we strive and thrive. All right. And so until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got